Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast, adding games both new and old to your backlog, one slightly inappropriate episode at a time. My name is Christian, and I've chewed through 10 trees, and my two front teeth really hurt. Joining me today is Taylor.
And I blame you.
Okay. And Marco.
Kept you guys waiting. Warconius here.
Okay, and we actually have this. Sorry, I should have played the hype music. The hype music is coming. He's joining us. Warconius is joining us.
Yeah.
Top question asker.
Nice.
He's here. Finally in person.
Welcome to the show, Warconius.
I can ask questions now on recording. Amazing.
Exactly. Yes. And great reveal, by the way. Warconius' name is Marco. That's what we're going to call him. If you're confused, they're the same person. And we can confirm that. We've been in the room with both Warconius and Marco.
And if you're curious, the origins of that of my username is there's Mario, Wario, Marco, Warco. And then it kind of just evolved into Warconius. But anyways, that's kind of how it came about.
Ooh. You took the M and flipped it upside down.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Okay. Who would have thought? This week, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, and Timberborn. But first, Taylor, what is new with you?
So I just was going over some Game Pass news, Xbox Game Pass, and they are apparently testing out a new tier called Triton, which is a great name. I love
Triton.
That.
Okay.
Which I believe is a moon of like Jupiter or something like that. But it's going to apparently have only their first party games, the Xbox Game Studios games on it. So hopefully it'll be a cheaper tier for people that want to play like Forza and Halo and
Triton
those
tier
kind of games. Yeah.
Cool. Triton tier. I think I can get behind it. I don't think I've ever heard the word Triton before. How many moons does Jupiter have at this point? 16? Something crazy?
Too many.
Yeah.
But they're also rumored to be considering having a free ad-supported cloud gaming service.
Oh, that's exactly what we need. More ads. We need more.
Can you imagine?
More ads in front of us.
You're in the middle of playing a game, right? Or you're in the middle of a boss fight playing like Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it jumps to an ad and you got like a minute and a half of watching someone tell you about prescription drugs.
Yeah. about like ED dysfunction.
Are you having stomach trouble from the anxiety of this Elden Ring boss?
That would be awesome. That would be kind of cool if it was like suited towards what you were playing.
Yeah, what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, well that's, I don't know, weird, depressing, but also I guess accessible. Like so many people use this free version of Spotify. I mean, it's not great for artists at all.
There's definitely an audience there of people who don't necessarily have, like, I'm especially thinking maybe developing countries where people don't have maybe a nice computer to play on, something like that. And like regional pricing doesn't work very well for them because their currency is weak. Something like maybe a free ad-supported tier could work really well.
Yeah, and there's already a free version of GeForce Now, which is essentially free cloud gaming. So if you own the game already, you can just do free cloud gaming. And then they do give you, before you go into your game, they give you a bunch of commercials. So the precedent's there, and companies are going to compete, going to launch new things to make money, and that's the way it is.
But here in PC land, I can always take my good old CD-ROM and put it in my... They'll never get me. No, they've probably already got me for sure. Marco, what's new with you?
Well, been traveling various places, and just kind of it reinforced the idea that the Steam Deck is a pretty cool thing to have. Like you can kind of keep up with your gaming. It's also super versatile. So I went on a quick trip with the kids and brought the Steam Deck, and I brought controllers. I brought like a controller dongle, and we were able to set up essentially the hotel room into like a gaming kind of
cool
arena, you know, and we played like kind of the typical local co-op games on Steam, like the Duck Game and Ultimate Chicken Horse, Speedrunner, stuff like that. And it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool to kind of have that sort of thing available. And I know recently in the news, the Steam Deck was I think it was unavailable, like it was out of stock. And I think recently it's come back and people can reorder it, the OLED version. So
nice. Aren't they coming out with a new one?
That's what was in the news. Yeah.
Well, Steam hasn't launched their Steam machine yet. They haven't launched the frame yet. That's supposed to be this year. I think from when it comes to hardware, the issues around RAM are problematic. Like problematic not just for Steam, but like for Sony, for Microsoft. And honestly, I think that Steam machine is going to be more expensive than people expect just because RAM prices are out of control.
I read a headline, and I don't know if this is true, but that the latest breakthrough in Google's AI dropped their RAM prices by 6 times.
That too.
So they're
more
expected
efficient.
because they're buying future hardware that hasn't even been made yet, which is part of the supply chain, as far as I understand it. And so now that their projections are different, but production has already started on these runs of RAM specifically for AI purposes, perhaps we will be in a glut of RAM, and then the Steam machine will be $1, right?
Right. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Cool.
It's a cool device. Highly recommend it.
As a kid, I didn't travel that much, but my favorite part when we did travel, we usually say it at like a Super 8, is us kids would band, there's 4 of us, so we'd band together, unionize, and demand that my parents rented the like GameCube or whatever they had there. Like sometimes they had like an older system so we could play up until 2 or 3 a.m. And
nice.
I think they did it because we were also out of their hair. It's like, oh yeah, if we have to.
Did you have like a kid's room and the parents had the parents' room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were all
nice.
Yeah.
Renting a console is like a thing of the past for sure. Like I remember renting like SNES, NES, and then just kind of like because you only had it for a limited time, just like glutting, just like gaming all night long.
Totally.
And you're right, like for parents, it was like a great way to kind of be like, hey kids, go do something.
Yeah. When me and my brother beat Halo 2 on the Xbox 360, part of it was that we didn't rent the console, we borrowed it from someone, but we only had it for a limited amount of time, right? So we had to stay. We had a goal. It was to beat fucking Halo 2 on Legendary and stay up till
Nice.
Guys, what's new with me is Slay the Spire 2 co-op is taking over my life and I have a problem. And this is just my cry for help. Do you guys have any suggestions? Like I'm playing Slay the Spire between... Timberborn has a night and day cycle. I'll talk about Timberborn later as the game I played. But in the night cycle, when I'm supposed to be planning for the next day of Timberborn, I'm playing Slay the Spire 2 in offline mode. So on my Steam Deck.
Here's what you do.
Yeah.
Every time you beat a combat encounter, you have to do 15 push-ups.
Oh my God.
You'll get so muscular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will that stop me from Slay the Spire too? Or will it just make
just
me
get you
ripped?
beefy? Yeah. You just get,
Christian comes to DLG Con just ripped.
I've slayed the Spire. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting topic. Like, I think there's some games for some people that are just way too addictive. Yeah. And I'm like really into soccer. Like, I love soccer, played it all my life, follow it. And there's these games called Football Manager, which is essentially like running a club, running a team. And the game was so addictive that I had to swear it off. Like I haven't played it in like a decade because it would take over my life. Like you'd go season after season, buying players, trading players, organizing your club, organizing the finances, like and the strategy, all that stuff. And it was just way too addictive. So I was like, I can't play it anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, that's me with Insurgency too. I had to put that in and then I played it like a year ago and I was like, ooh, this is not good for me. And I was like, I remember why. Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. What did we play this week? Marco, why don't you start us off with my favorite fantasy space wizard show?
Yeah. I played Jedi Survivor. I've played the previous game, which is Jedi Fallen Order. And essentially what it is it's a third person action game that takes place in kind of the time after episode 3. So you play as a Jedi, and the Jedi essentially is like running away from all the different bounty hunters and all the different elements that are trying to get them, because most of the Jedi have been eliminated by Order 44
66
or 66. Yeah.
Did you say Order 44? Because 44 plus 66 is 100. I thought that was a bit. That's amazing.
No,
if I talk to Star Wars fans in person, I'm always going to say Order 44.
No, Order 44 was my McDonald's order. Just got confused. It was Order 66. But anyways,
right.
I love.
I'm gonna get a Big Mac or Murder on the Jedi.
It's a toss-up.
But I love that kind of in between period of time in terms of the Star Wars storytelling. So like, essentially what they've done with Andor, Rogue One. Oh no, what do you guys think? Like, I love that kind of period of time in the Star Wars lore. I think it's really cool.
I agree. I'm a total Star Wars nerd. I love Star Wars. That period of time is really cool. And one of the most unique elements that I think is getting more popular recently is like the Separatists were right. Like this angle of like Count Dooku was evil. Count Dooku was definitely evil. And he was orchestrating the Separatists for evil purposes, right? But the core of the Separatist ideology of like the Republic is a bureaucratic, it has malaise. It is purposefully ignorant of regional conflicts that sort of decimate local populations. Like all this stuff that's in the background of Star Wars. I think that's fucking fascinating, because if you look at the other perspective, Palpatine is running, they're both evil. Palpatine is running the Republic. Yeah. Dooku is running the Separatists. You have two evils smashing heads together, and then the normal people are just fucked. And so which kind of feels like a real life mirror, perhaps.
Yeah, it is true. It's like the Separatists, they were probably right, but how they went about it was wrong. Like, because they were kind of silly robots.
But at least they used droids instead of the untold amount of human suffering the clone army is generating.
That is weird. That the clone army is morally bad.
It's morally very bad. And I mean, attacking Naboo was like, really? You want to attack them? Like,
The Trade Federation and the droids, the Roger-ness of the Separatists was also bad, but not in the way of like you raise sentient. Okay, sorry. Now another bird walk. Before I even finish my first point, we have to talk about the sentience of droids, because like they are also made from birth to serve their masters, but they have weirdly like. I feel like they're weirdly human and expressive of emotions, and like there's like K2SO. There's like droids that have self-determination if their restraining bolt is lifted.
Personalities.
Star Wars is problematic just all around, I think, perhaps. Yeah.
But anyways, Star Wars is good for video games, like in terms of like having it as a platform to create a video game. It's amazing. Like the storytelling, the lightsaber is like a really, really cool weapon to have in a video game. And so I think with Jedi Survivor, there's a few points I want to make. Like one is when it launched on PC, it launched really, really badly, like performance issues abound. And so it got a really a mixed rating on Steam because of it. They've fixed a lot of those issues. Does it run like as a game? Does it run perfectly? No, but it runs well enough to be enjoyable, and it's a game that's absolutely stunning. The storytelling is really good. Like I said, you're following this Jedi that's essentially running away and trying to fight the Empire and trying to kind of create his own kind of well-being based on the fact that everyone's after him, everyone's trying to kill him, but he's trying to fight back, and a lot of the story kind of deals with the morality of like, how much do you fight back? How much does that fight kind of take over who you are and turn you into something that you don't want to be, which is really neat. It's a really good game. It was developed by Respawn, and the game director was formerly of Sony Santa Monica. So the game itself has that kind of, if you've played those recent God of War games, it has that kind of feel. Like, it has an Uncharted feel as well, where you're doing climbing, you're doing platforming, you're doing these puzzles as well. And then what's interesting is they chose for this game and Fallen Order, they chose like a combat style that's very Souls-like. So it has like this Sekiro feel where you have to essentially eliminate the guard of your opponent by doing parries, by doing dodges, and then go after them and strike them and
that
take
makes
away their
sense
life.
because
Yeah.
the lightsaber is so strong
Yeah.
that if you land a hit, you're pretty much disabling an opponent.
Yeah.
Unless you just make it unrealistic to the point where like someone could take 17 lightsabers to the body.
Yeah. It's really cool because it creates a very immersive feel of like, yeah, I'm the Jedi. I'm like doing these lightsaber battles and I'm parrying and I'm like doing these strikes and taking down enemies. And then the force powers are really, really cool. You're like, you got the push, you got the pull, and you got a few others. You can kind of take over the minds of enemies and have them fight on your behalf, which is really neat. Overall, they did a really, really good job with this game. And Respawn, I think, as a studio within EA, is a really, really strong studio. They did the Titanfall games. Like Titanfall 2's single player game is like awesome. And then these games, they've done a really good job. And then they did Apex Legends, which was a huge hit for them. The game director, like I said, he's from formerly of Sony Santa Monica. He has like the coolest name. Like he has a cool first name, and his last name is like a little bit off. Like, so his first name is Stig. So he's
Stig?
Stig. Yeah. But his last name, he's like, first name Stig, and then last name Asmundsen. So it's
Asmundsen?
Yeah.
Asmundsen. That's awesome.
It's like, I am Stig Asmundsen. It's like, okay. Yeah. I don't know if that's like Danish or Icelandic. I don't know.
Stig is the name of the driver from Top Gear.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's how I know it. But anyways, and I said the last thing I want to say about Jedi Survivor is like definitely a pickup if you're a Star Wars fan. Like it's really, really good. The other thing is this studio, Respawn, was formed by an individual named Vince Zampella. And unfortunately, he passed away recently in a tragic car accident. And so you kind of wonder what's going to happen to Respawn, given his passing and what will happen. And he himself was like a really huge individual within the gaming industry. He started, I can't remember which studio he started, but he started one of the Call of Duty studios. And then when he came to EA, he absolutely, killed it with Respawn. And then he went on Battlefield 6 as well. He was part of the Battlefield 6 launch.
So
That's
I played,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I played Fallen Order, Marco.
Yeah.
And I think it was clear that there could be another game. At the end of this game, have you beaten it? And if you've beaten it, does it set up for like a third sort of?
I haven't beaten it yet. I'm almost at the end. So I don't know. So I can't answer that. I would guess yes, though. I would say that they probably have an idea to do another one, but will they do another one is a big question mark because the Stig, he left Respawn as well. He's not there anymore.
Oh,
so and like I said, these games, like when you play these games, you're like, oh yeah, this feels like a Sony game. Like it feels like a weird hybrid. Like it feels like a Sony game, but then it has those elements of like a From game as well, which again work really well in the Star Wars universe. Like I think that was a good choice to have that type of combat.
Would you say that the lightsaber dueling is like maybe some of the best from any video game?
I would say so. Like out of any Star Wars game, yeah, it feels really good too. Because you can also, I didn't mention this, you can dual wield, you can have a lightsaber and a gun, you can have a staff. And you can even have like the what's
whip?
his name?
The whip? No.
The
double-sided?
the big broadsword that whatchamacallum had in those
Oh,
other
yeah,
movies.
yeah. Kylo Ren's
Kylo Ren.
powerful smacker.
Yeah, they have a version of that.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a version of that as well. Really cool. Really cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's a fantasy, like having a great Star Wars like lightsaber combat game. Because so many of the games, the lightsaber combat is just kind of there.
Yeah, even deflecting the bolts is fun because it's timing, right? So if you time it, the bolt goes right back and hits the droid or hits the whoever is shooting at you. So, and they did a good job in terms of variety of enemies. Like you fight droids from the Clone Wars, kind of leftover. They kind of call them as like leftover droids from the Clone Wars. And then you fight like raiders. You fight like obviously the Empire and stormtroopers and stuff
And like beasts too, right?
Yeah,
like
beasts,
big, fearsome.
huge.
The beasts in Star Wars, I think, are like the Rancor, the Sarlacc. Like, and Episode 2 introduced like the Acklay and all these other like really cool things that are just perfect for video game enemies. Like,
yeah. I mean, you could argue, and again, probably a topic from another time. Like, Star Wars is one of the is the best or the most perfect IP for video games. Like it's just has a lot in it that works really well. Like versus like something like Star Trek. I love Star Trek, but as a video game, like the translation into video games is a bit imbalanced. Like it's not quite as good. But
Star Trek is a little more cerebral too, and it's the average storyline, and so it lends itself. Yeah. There was a really good or really well reviewed Star Trek like Telltale game that I personally haven't played, but I feel like that is a pretty good leverage of Star Trek. Okay, cool. I went down this weird rabbit hole about the lightsaber making in Survivor. Like the UI and the UX designer did like this presentation of all the specific ways that they made the lightsaber making and editing the lightsaber feel really good. I haven't played the game. I mean, I've played the first game, but it seems like they really like dialed it up or made it a little bit more clear. And the amount of customization looks crazy, like insane.
Yeah. You can customize your little robot, the lightsaber, the blaster. And the way they did it was, again, I think it's because of this game director. He borrowed a lot from Last of Us. Like The Last of Us, especially Last of Us 2, you go to these workbenches and there's like a really satisfying way you can modify your gun and stuff like that. It's exactly the same. Like you go to these workbenches and it's like, and it has like really great sound effects and and you can kind of see the pieces bolt together.
I love that.
And yeah, clearly they were inspired by what Naughty Dog did in Last of Us. But they did. It's good. Like, borrow a good idea. Why not?
Sweet. Okay, Taylor, what did you play this week?
Yeah, so I have been playing through a game called Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, which I did talk about a couple weeks back as something I want to play. So there's a goal accomplished.
Nice. Congrats, by the way. Hello.
Thank you. But I want to talk about this game and kind of like this idea that it has of like choosing the ending at the beginning of the game. So in Banishers, right at the start of the game, not immediate, like there's a little prologue section, but right after this little introduction, and this is a spoiler, but you can see it in the trailer. So you have two playable characters. There's a Scotsman named Red McWraith, which is a great name, and a Cuban named Antia Duarte, who is the like master, and Red is like the student, but they're also lovers. And right at the start, Antia dies, and becomes a ghost. And at the start of the game, you have the choice to try to revive her back to life, or have your goal be to eventually help her ascend as a ghost, and you'll be parted forever. And so you kind of get the opportunity right at the start to like swear an oath and decide, is that my eventual goal, to ascend her or to raise her from the dead? And there's obviously consequences depending on which path you choose. But it really intrigued me of like, right at the start, I'm choosing how the game's going to end.
Yeah. Okay,
and
cool.
I don't think you get locked in. I'm about halfway through, so I haven't finished it. But I'm pretty sure that towards the end, you can change your mind, but you'll have consequences for breaking your oath. And the game is very explicit about that.
It's cool because something like Mass Effect is just like the culmination of every decision you make in a playthrough, whereas something like this is like, there's two endings, buddy. Like, you're going to get to one of these. So just so you know.
And I would be surprised if there's a couple other endings that aren't just one of those two options, depending on how you go. But yeah, I don't know. On the one hand, it was like cool that I have this goal that I'm working towards, and I kind of know what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, I'm going to resolve this haunting case and save everyone. But also, what am I doing with my wife?
So my wife. What is this? What is this game? What are you doing? It's detective first person?
It is a third person action RPG. And like I said, you got two playable characters, Red and Antia the Ghost, so you can swap between them whenever you want. And it has action RPG combat, kind of like God of War style. And then the more recent one. And then there is investigations, where you are getting clues to solve these haunting cases. And so you interview people through dialogue, and then you're like walking around the environment, picking up things. Like, you look at a book. Is it
spooky?
It is a little spooky, yeah. It's set in New England in I think, fictional town called New Eden.
Okay.
So this environment is, the forest and hills, mountains of New England, and it's set in as a result of this haunting, it's permanently winter. So it's very kind of gloomy, and you're in the woods, and it's all wild. It's barely been settled at this point, so there's all these specters and ghosts, and
that's a pretty powerful haunt.
Things.
It's like a level 10 haunt.
Dude,
ghosts so powerful they make winter forever.
And it affects this huge area. It's not just like one building. It's the whole town. It's caused pestilence, and
move
people
over,
are
Casper.
getting
Jeez.
these nightmares. Like, no one's sleeping well because they keep getting these terrible nightmares.
Yeah, they should just move. Like,
it
sounds
for
that's the
sure.
thing, they can't.
Go to Florida or something. I know.
The nightmare, because of the permanent winter, mountain passes are snowed in, so you can't cross.
Damn.
And then when people walk through the woods, they get all turned around in the dark gloom and walk in circles or whatever. So everyone's kind of trapped in this
including
area.
you, including
us.
Got it. Okay.
Does it have like
not
survival elements? Like, is there? No. There's no crafting.
Now you don't have to There's some very basic crafting elements.
Gotcha.
Like, you can upgrade your equipment and stuff. You collect these ingredients, but it's not like no real survival mechanics there. And you are Banishers, from the title Banishers, which are like a ghost hunter kind of profession.
Gotcha.
So you use these rituals that are kind of magical, but it's not like you're out there casting spells necessarily.
Right.
You're fighting with a saber, and eventually you get a musket. And then Ghost Antia is like a ghost monk, basically. She's punching everybody. So you're not out there like casting fireball or anything. But when you do encounter a ghost, you've got these cool rings that like glow orange, and you just punch ghosts in the face, or if they're possessing something, you punch it and knock the ghost out of whatever it's possessing. It goes like, whoosh.
What interested you in playing this game? It kind of seems out of left field for you. Maybe that's wrong, but was there something that drew you to this? You're like, oh yeah, this seems cool.
I was just browsing on Xbox Game Pass one day, saw this on there, and saw it was from Don't Nod, the makers of Life is Strange and Vampire, which I like those games. And I watched the trailer and I was like, this looks interesting. It's not something I usually play. Why don't I give it a shot? And yeah, I'm really enjoying the story so far.
Yeah, Vampire is underrated for sure. Yeah, Vampire was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I never played any of the Life is Strange, and I haven't played Vampire. I mean, I played like 10 minutes of Life is Strange, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. What's the unique part about this game? Does it borrow that sort of like multiple selection dialogue-y? It's more about talking and investigating the environment that
I would say it's different than Life is Strange in that you don't have like that rewind mechanic for the conversations, and the conversations are a little less important. It's not purely dialogue focused. There's a good amount of combat, although I would say that the combat does get a little stale after a while. There's a lot of combat encounters, and your attacks are pretty much just like light attack, heavy attack, block. And both characters fight very similarly, despite, like one has the sword and the other is punching.
One is dead and one is alive.
Yeah. So that, like, there's abilities and skills that you level up and you can unlock different things, but it still kind of boils down to very similar. So I would say combat isn't a strength. It's serviceable.
Right.
But really the draw is the storytelling and the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah, I think you nailed the atmosphere when you described like the valley and the snow and the New England setting.
Yeah, you can feel yourself there.
Yeah, kind of lucky that you were stuck there. Like you made it in the mountain pass. Like, oh, we would have been like this forever with one of these Banishers.
on a boat from London. Right. And then right at the start, you encounter the final boss, and you're in this like church on a cliff, and the ghost freaking just throws you into the ocean, and you wash up on shore like miles away. So you're like journeying back to the town. But my favorite aspect of the game is that when you resolve a haunting case, right? So like you encounter a victim, then you go through the steps of like investigating why a ghost is haunting them, what's the ghost's deal, what's the victim's deal, and you get to the end of the case where you're resolving it. You have three options, which is you can ascend the ghost, sending it up to like heaven. You can banish the ghost, which basically like disperses it and sends it to oblivion. And then you can blame the victim. So the person who's being haunted, you can blame them, and when you do, it kills them.
Oh, okay. So it's essentially it's like, hey, ghost, yeah, I get your point here. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you were right. Actually, this person sucks.
Yeah, that's interesting. Not everyone who's haunted by a ghost is going to be a good person, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you share with your roommates? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
One of the examples was this guy who was out hunting with his friend. They got kind of lost, and they're starving and kind of walking along. The friend ends up pushing the other guy off a cliff, and then starts to eat him, like cannibalize him.
Yeah.
And so then his friend obviously started haunting him.
That's an easy case of blame the. I think we're
like,
all.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this guy, we're going to blame him.
The cannibal friend killer, probably we should.
Yeah. But if you choose to like try to resurrect your companion,
Mm.
you need to blame them because you're harvesting their life essence in order to revive her. So you have to blame a good number of victims. Otherwise, you won't collect enough life essence to actually revive her. So there's a bit of a moral quandary and so there's cases where it's like, this person does suck, but maybe not enough that I should murder them. But then you're like, well, if I want to revive my partner, okay, well, yeah, I just don't like your face. Blame.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if I could. Here's my take. Your spouses, unfortunately, they have passed. It's not.
Yeah.
Is it up to me to bring them back to the living? I feel like by killing other people, life is precious. Unless I meet 100 cannibals, then I don't think I'm going to be rolling around harvesting the life essence of like mildly annoying seamstresses, for example.
Right. Well, some of them are racist, mildly annoying seamstresses.
I could get there
Which is
easier,
a
and it
little
depends how annoying they are too, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. How about you, Marco? Are you harvesting the life essence?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go the route of like, yeah, ghosts go to heaven. Yeah, you suck, but maybe there's time for you to change your ways. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Don't Not is I'm the same. Like, I haven't played the Life is Strange games, played Vampire for sure, but they do interesting games for sure. And I'll check this one out. I don't know if it's for me, but I'll check it out for sure.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. So if you have that, it's very easy to get.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to be talking about Timberborn, and sometimes all you need is a good like mechanical twist on an established genre. So Timberborn is a sandbox beaver city builder, and it's focused around managing water and different liquids in the environment as you survive or try to survive droughts. The beavers are from the future, and humanity is extinct. So you're in like this apocalyptical wasteland where there's like toxic sludge and dirty water and clean water, and you're trying to manage these things as you build your city as little beavers that make dams. It's cute.
Real quick, is this the same beaver game you talked about before?
This is the same beaver game I talked about adding to my radar that I was going to play last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it was. I just remembered you talking about a beaver game. I was like, is Christian out here only playing beaver games?
Yeah, I'm filtering by beaver tag. Yeah. So I have a little correction. Last week when I said I thought it was in early access for 4 years, just my apologies. It was actually in early access for 4.5 years of Timberborn, and I played it when it first released, and I talked about it on this podcast. So a long time ago.
That's
you heard about.
A long time to be in early access, or it feels like it.
It is an incredibly long time. And if you look at the community comments on every update, the game it hasn't completely changed, but they've obviously added so much on the early access journey. The comments are like, I think this is good. Like, I think 1.0, like, I think you could do it. Like, you just added like 20 buildings. I think it feels good, guys. It feels good. And then every time they're like, no. We need to add zip lines and yeah. So it's officially out, and they reworked the water physics, which of course is the main draw of the game. So I get maybe why they wanted to wait for 1.0 to reveal this new water system. It feels great. How can you not be interested in beavers? So there's no beaver tag on Steam, but there should be. I have some beaver facts for you guys. So number one, did you guys know that beavers eat the wood as food, as primary sustenance?
They eat I did not. I thought they used it as construction material.
And construction. It's like if you built your house out of Spam or something, right? Like you can eat the wall.
I never thought of that, but I want a Spam house.
Yeah. Okay. And second little beaver fact, beavers only build, this blew my goddamn mind. They only build dams to raise the water level in their lodge above the door. Their lodge, I don't know if you guys have seen them. They're fairly, I guess they can be large-ish, but compared to a dam, they're very tiny. And they have an underwater entrance that is air inside the dam, and then they swim underwater, and there's like a little pocket of air for them. And so to get that set up properly, they dam an entire river. It's just like, it seems like
just
the
for
most
their little
effort.
lodge.
Just for their tiny
So the beavers, so the only purpose is to submerge their entrance. So it's like, it's almost like it's a security kind of functionality. Like, so their predators obviously can't go after them so easily. Wow.
Yeah.
So they're changing the environment just for security. Wow.
Just for security. And I don't know if you guys have seen like pictures of beaver dams, or maybe you've seen them, but they're impressive structures, and there's so much wood, and it's like
a lot of work.
We're actually doing this to raise the water level 2 inches across the sides of the river. You know,
why don't you just build the lodge differently? That'd be so much easier just to start with the door underwater. They
evolved in this very specific way where they built dams to solve their problem. And then the last beaver fact, the beavers that live in the river by my house, like a couple minutes away, they decimated the shore. There used to be all these tiny shrubs and like medium-sized trees. They just completely decimated, like almost looks clear-cut. This beaver became infamous. It became hunted. It became hated by the community. And it still survives to this day with now there's multiple beavers. I assume they're all the same family. I don't know. But one huge fat beaver who's definitely the originator, the first beaver in the river who clear cut all these trees. And yeah, it's just awesome to see in person not as I'm playing Timberborn, but alongside playing this game that I have like a neighborhood beaver that I can check on. I love
the idea that you've got this infamous neighborhood beaver, and like people are walking down the path by the river and just they see the beaver start hurling abuse at it, like, "Hey, get out of here, beaver!"
A couple years ago, I had a little party, and it was making boats that we'd float down the river. I want to have like a Stuart Little boat competition. And so we went down to the end of the river and we deployed our boats, and then we rode our bikes or electric scooters and followed the boats alongside the side of the river. And to do that, we had to go through a bunch of neighborhoods. And when we got to around my neighborhood, the boats got snagged on a beaver dam in this guy's backyard. And so I went and knocked on this door. This guy has like this huge mansion. It's honestly ridiculous. It's like a bat cave. It's the biggest house by a country mile for a long time in my neighborhood. It sticks out like a sore thumb. So I knock on his door. I'm like, oh God, what's he gonna do? And I'm telling him about our boats, and they're stuck in the beaver dam. I'm like, hey, can I just go in your backyard and take a stick and maybe unstuck our boats? Because the beaver dam, it sticks out and the tide is going, or the water's going right into it. And he's like, yeah, you can go back there and get your boats out. But by the way, I've tried to kill this beaver multiple times. He's like, if you look at my backyard, you'll see that he's felled these huge old trees, multiple. So he's built these like little fences around his trees, like these metal protective fences around his remaining trees. And yeah, you go to his backyard and he has a bunch of space and it's beautiful, but there are missing trees clearly. I just like the fact that this guy's like, this fucking beaver. And
you can get your boats, but if you get that beaver, I'd really appreciate it.
It's like a side quest. Like, yeah, exactly, like a video game. Like, bring me one beaver pelt. Yeah.
I love the idea of you like playing Timberborn next to the beaver dam on your Steam Deck. You know, the beaver eyeing you eyeing beaver being like, yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah,
what
I
you're
get it.
doing.
Yeah. So about the game itself, it totally deserves the overwhelmingly positive review that it has on Steam. It's one of the greatest city builders I've ever played. Like, they put so much time and effort into the main twist of this water physics mechanic, and it's so satisfying to solve the little puzzles that the game gives you, because you're moving from one area to another. You know, there's like some advanced resources on the other side of the map, and to get there, you have to build a dam. But there's more than one way to build the dam. There's more than one way to back up the water levels. And it's a little bit unpredictable where the water is going to end up, but you have to control it or else it'll flood all your settlement and your beavers will. The other thing about this game that's weird is the beavers can't swim. I don't know why. They're just like, they made the beaver game, and then they're like, oh, it's only going to work if the beavers can't swim. So it's a little bit awkward. But there's like insane levels of expansion possible. This game is ending up like Factorio, basically. At the end of the game, you have these super complicated logistic chains, like, you know, your wood goes into planks, your planks go into gears, your gears go into machinery to harvest metal, the metal you use to mine up this sludge, the sludge you use to make dynamite, and it just kind of goes crazy from there. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about it. I just have such a fun time playing this game, and you could easily spend like hundreds of hours on the logistic automation part. I'm not really an automator. Like, I got to a point in the game where I was like, okay, I've beaten the survival aspect of the game. Like, I have enough water to survive any drought. I have enough food. My farms are set up properly. My stockpiles are likely never going to run out. Like, I feel good. And then the game is like, hey, you can, by the way, did you know you can automate this? Oh, did you know you could change the water level here? And it, like, at some point, the sandbox nature of the game is revealing itself, and I'm less interested in that. I kind of like the survival like leaning over me. And I wrote this last night as I was playing Timberborn and how I was actually feeling. And then I played for a couple more hours, stayed up way too late. By the way, we're recording this at 7 a.m. my local time, 6 a.m. Marco time, 8 a.m. Taylor time. It's early. And in those 2 hours, I proceeded to go through the longest drought that I've ever gone through. And everything collapsed in my beaver colony. All my beavers died and I lost the game. So I wrote this. So it is challenging. Maybe you get to a point where you're a little bit ahead of where the game wants you to be, but yeah, there's still a challenge even in the later portion of the game, which feels good. Like when that came up, I was like, I got the itch. I was like, oh, I have to start another. Yeah, new seed, new map. Let's go.
Are the maps randomly generated?
Some are and some aren't. So some are like recommended as tutorial-ish maps that are fairly easy, and others are purposefully hard. And then there's a random map that you can generate as well if you get tired of those. So, yes.
Oh, I was going to say, I got an important question, a really important question. Can you customize your beaver? Can you give it a haircut? Can you shave it, perhaps?
Okay, so the beaver services are really interesting. Like if they... your lumberjacks, they don't have an axe, they just have teeth. But as a side effect, they can chip their teeth. And so you build these little grindstones where they sharpen their beaver teeth. Oh. And then you have beavers with sharp teeth who are, anyways, so you can't really customize your beavers, but you can give them all sorts of interesting services where they get temporary statuses, and then they'll carry that thing or their model will change based on where they visited.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to Beaver Services. Press 1 for teeth sharpening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I never figured out why the beavers can't swim. I thought surely somewhere in this game they will tell me why the beavers can't swim. They're just like, nope, we made a game about an aquatic animal that builds dams, and the main part of the game is it can't swim across the rivers. You have to build the dams to cross the rivers. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's Timberborn, guys. Any yearning to, or do you guys like these type of games? These automation-y, city builder, puzzlies?
No.
I do. I love like Satisfactory.
Okay.
And I like Satisfactory a bit more than Factorio, but I do enjoy those types of games in limited doses because, for one, at a certain point, things generally grow so big that I get overwhelmed trying to manage everything, and then I'm done. And it's like restart. It's kind of like you said too. It's like at a certain point, it's less about managing the survival and accomplishing my goals, and it's more just like maintaining the machine I've built. And it's less interesting then. You know
what? I shouldn't say no. I enjoyed Surviving Mars a lot. Would this be similar to
that? Yeah. Yep. Totally. Yeah. Surviving Mars is a little lighter on the logistical chains, if I remember correctly. I mean, I played a lot of Surviving Mars, but same general idea. Like you click on any beaver, they have a specific name, a bunch of traits that you have to manage. So there's like a colony builder aspect to it as well. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, I enjoy these types of games. I might check out Timberborn. I like the idea of managing beavers instead of something else. Like they're cute, they're fun, and they can't swim.
Famously,
do they eat the wood in the game as a food source?
No, that's the other thing. You have to grow them carrots and potatoes and all the other like city builder. Yeah. And then of course you grill the potatoes. And then when you grill the potatoes, you can mix them with sunflower seed. Anyways, I'm getting lost in the
nice to give
logistics.
Full recipes.
Also the customization. It'd be nice to give them hats or haircuts or I don't know.
Yeah.
Beards.
Maybe that'll be in 1.1. They couldn't fit that in 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Tail tattoos. That's amazing.
Shave
tail
them,
stamps.
Shave them without hair. Hairless beavers.
Hairless beavers. Ooh, I wonder. I don't know. Some things are best left. Yeah. Marco, what do you want to play?
I just bought a week ago Spider-Man 2. So I have that coming up. So I'm going to finish Jedi Survivor and play Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is the continuation of the Spider-Man games from Insomniac. They're third-person action games. They heavy on the storytelling, cutscenes, but lots of really good action. Insomniac's really good at kind of having that kind of, gameplay, that controller gameplay where you're kind of like beating up on bad guys and having like amazing cutscenes and amazing set pieces. The other cool thing about the Spider-Man games are New York. They do a really good job of like recreating New York. You have all the kind of the real life landmarks, but then you also have the Marvel landmarks. So you can go and check out, Doctor Strange's house on, I think it's like Bleecker Street, like all that sort of stuff, or Avenger Tower. Those are really good games. Like they're the first two were kind of like top on my kind of like top 20 games of all time. And I've always been a huge Spider-Man fan. So I was just waiting for the game to be on sale. Like spending $80 on a game. It's just like, wait for sale.
Yeah.
In this game, is there Jonah Jameson and he's putting out headlines?
Yeah, it's in this game he does podcasts, and so occasionally you listen to the podcast, and then he goes off about Spider-Man, and they're hilarious, of course.
He's a teenage menace.
Yeah, the writing is on point, and it's not like they're not recreating Spider-Man from the movies or the comic books. It's its own story, kind of own recreation with like the same characters. So there's like parallels. But like I said, like the voice acting, the storytelling, voice acting, all that stuff is really, really good. And the gameplay is great, and it works. Both games, including this one, is fully supported on the Steam Deck. So that's a bonus as well. So yeah, I'm gonna dive into that one pretty soon after Jedi.
As a kid, one of the greatest gifts, I think, for my development, and I'm not even joking, is the Spider-Man game. Because I was from a small town, and I've seen pictures of cities and videos, but I don't know, man. There was just something about webbing from tall building to tall building in New York City, and I spent so long just exploring around, being like, oh, this is so cool. Like, and then I wanted to go there. Like, I was like, oh, I need to go to New York City. It's awesome.
Yeah, like it's really cool. You can just go on like the tallest building and then just do a dive off the tallest building and then swing around. And then they do a good job in the open world of like creating these moments where you can go in and solve a crime or help a crime and, beat up bad guys that are trying to rob a jewelry store or something like that. It's it's a really, really top-notch game. Apparently it didn't sell super well on Steam. And again, it's kind of another story of these games launching on PC and just not performing really well. And this one, just like Jedi, did not, the port was not good in the beginning. They fixed it now, but it was not good at all.
That's too bad. It's way too common for these ports to come out and just not perform on PC.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to play it though, dude. Let us know how you get along with Spider-Man. Taylor, the what? What do you want to play? This is crazy.
I want to play the Expanse Osiris Reborn.
Yeah.
This is an upcoming third-person RPG game set in the Expanse universe. It's being made by Owlcat, who are the makers of Pathfinder, the Pathfinder games, as well as Rogue Trader. But this is a pretty big departure from their previous style, which is isometric RPGs, that kind of almost top down. This is like third person over the shoulder. Looks very similar to Mass Effect kind of style. And I don't know, I'm like really looking forward to being able to fly around in my Expanse spaceship and going to Mars and all the planets. It seems like you are a part of a mercenary company, and you're taking on contracts, or maybe you get in over your head on a contract. I'm not 100%. But what I'm really curious to see how they handle are like the combat abilities, since the Expanse doesn't have magic in it. Like, Mass Effect has space magic of a type, whereas Expanse is very grounded. So I'm wondering if it's just going to be like you're a soldier and you've got a gun and a flamethrower and a grenade, or if they're going to come up with some creative abilities, or maybe they'll have like proto-molecule stuff. Like, who knows? But
I'm the biggest fan of not the biggest of whoever's been out there, obviously, but I love the Expanse. I haven't even read all the books. What am I saying? I'm not even a real fan. I think I'm at book 6 and out of the 8 series, and I watched the whole TV show, and I love the writers. I listen to their podcast, and for some reason, this game isn't exciting to me. I think it has, I can't quite place it. It has like a AAA veneer that I feel like doesn't scream the Expanse to me for some reason. Am I alone in this, perhaps? Like
I would say the same thing. Like, I love the Expanse. Actually, I'm looking forward to this game, but I'm very skeptical. Like, I think this will be a game that launches that will have like really cool elements and really interesting elements, but I think it'll have like lots and lots of jank. Like this developer going from the games that they've done before to this, it seems like such a huge leap. Not that they can't pull it off, but I'm like, I wonder if I think, like, if I were to guess, like, the combat will be pretty rough. Like, I don't think it'll feel good at all. It'll probably be like Mass Effect 1. If you guys remember Mass Effect 1, it was a good game, but it did not feel great. Like, it was the combat was not great at all.
I think, kind of to Christian's point, I get where you're coming from with, like, it doesn't necessarily feel like the Expanse, like maybe based on the footage and stuff that we've seen, that it's like you can get the vibe maybe that it's like a kind of generic sci-fi game just happens to be in the Expanse universe.
Totally.
Rather than following the story of the Expanse. It
reminds me of like the Call of Duty in space. Like, that's what I see when I see like the action GIFs on. And I don't know, not to tarnish it. I hope it's good, but just getting weird from the marketing and the Steam page.
There's not a lot of footage of it out yet. I mean, they have like one short trailer that's mainly cinematic. So we'll have to see what the gameplay actually looks like. One thing, I hate when games do this. They release a gameplay trailer, and it's a 2-minute long trailer, and there is maybe 20 seconds of gameplay in the trailer. It's all cutscenes and in-engine footage, but it's like the actual clip of the game being played is very short.
I think it's because they're still so in development that it's hard for them to kind of get a nice looking gameplay, or I think it's a lot of work for them to get a really nice clip of gameplay because all of it is still under construction.
It's subject to change.
Under construction. But yeah, I get what you guys are saying.
Just don't call it a gameplay trailer.
Yeah. I get what you guys are saying, but if I were to guess, I'd say probably the other elements of the game will be good. Like, I think they'll do a reasonable job in kind of like the storytelling and kind of like getting that feel of the Expanse. But I think, yeah, the action and the gameplay will be, I think, rough as hell, but we'll see.
Exciting. Are you guys Earther, Belters, or Martians when you're starting?
Good question. Good question.
That is good. I just love saying Beltalota.
Beltalota.
But probably would go Martian.
I would go Martian too. Yeah. There's a nuance to being a Martian. Yeah. There's a inherent conflict to being a Martian. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. And the Earth people are just kind of, they're gluttons.
Yeah. Spoiled brats.
Spoiled.
I love how the Expanse does portray Earth, though, whereas like there's so many people, they all get like a basic dole, and to rise to anything more than that life is very difficult and requires the right people, or you're just a badass mother. In the case of like Amos or someone, like you have to rise through the shit based on how tough your experience growing up and sort of competing with everyone else's. Anyways, I'd probably do an Earther. I don't know. I like the main character in the Expanse. His family owns like a ranch. He's like, I'm just a rich rancher.
He was like born a chosen person too. Like he got it all set up for him.
Yeah,
Nepo baby.
And then, ice hauler. He got to be an ice hauler, right, Captain? And then from there, I think it was all effort. But if he was never on the ice hauler, he's still like eating, I don't know, caterpillars on Earth or whatever they end up serving them. Okay. Wait, I didn't say what I wanted to play. That's okay. What's our community up to, Marco?
Lots of things. So I encourage everyone to check out the Discord. There's a fan creation zone where we're posting screenshots. This month's theme was Winter Wonderland, so we had a bunch of screenshots on like games that have like really amazing winter scenes. So Nyanko has kind of given us a ton of different examples, whether it's Skyrim or parts of even GTA 5. If you remember their beginning scenes where they're in the Midwest doing a bank heist, and there's some really cool winter scenes there. As well,
maybe Banishers Ghost of New Eden, Taylor. Maybe you threw a couple screenshots. Forever Winter.
It is forever winter there.
Yeah. And then
it's not snowy though.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably more rainy than anything. And then we have our Fantasy League channel as well, where a whole bunch of us are in that kind of critic fantasy league where, bidding on games, talking about games that are launching, the scores and stuff like that. So that's a really cool channel that's very active, and there's lots of people playing this year. So it's super, super competitive.
How is the league going? Let's see who's in the lead. Dun, 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 dun. Joe Mosapien is in the lead. His publisher,
Joe.
Grand Thrift Grotto 7. I love
Yeah, the names are great.
And what are Joe's picks here? Let's quickly go into it. He got Chrisman Desert, scored an 80 on Critic, which netted him 10 points. Monster Hunter Stories 3 netted him an 85 Critic score and 15 points. Fatal Frame 2 released at 76 and docked at 76. I feel like it's anyone's game still.
He's only in the lead because he has more games released than anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's still wide open.
The way I judge how people are doing is like, if your first pick got a 10, that's a little bit kind of like low for your very, very first pick, because people are still waiting for, like, for example, like what did you get as your first pick, Taylor?
I don't remember.
It is.
You don't know offhand?
Control Resonant, right? So one, when that comes out, you think at least 85, 86, something like that. So
my first pick was Total War Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah.
Which
I wanted that one.
It's mine. It might not release, so maybe it's good you didn't get
Christian's always picking the strategy games.
Yeah, which is a game that I'm definitely looking forward to. You know, whether it's like a 90 on OpenCritic, that'll be a stretch.
I don't think it'll be a 90, but it'll be fun to play.
Yeah, it'll be good.
it'll be Taylor's 90, that's for sure.
But anyways, it's a fun channel to be on, so highly recommend people checking it out.
Oh, and then shout out, Amanda had a birthday this past week. Happy birthday, Amanda.
Happy birthday.
Nice. Cool. We won't say your age.
Yeah, the 20s are great. Enjoy the 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For plug, I mean, we just talked about the Discord. Please, if you haven't checked it out, dlgaming.net is what you want to type into your little search bar up there.
Oh, hold on.
Yep.
Executive producer, Truthbringer.
Oh, executive producer, Truthbringer. Sorry. Hello.
Almost missed it.
I almost missed it.
Sorry, Truthbringer.
God, he would have been very angry with us.
I know.
He's just like the most chillest dude. He's just like, keep doing what you guys are doing. Thanks. All the time. We're like, thanks, dude. DLgaming.net. Click Discord to join the community, and we'll see you there. That was a show. My name is Christian. Joining us today was, of course, Marco and Taylor. Tune in next week because Christian will checking out. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Next week because Christian, a chick with tits and dick in Cyberpunk. Yes, that is exactly what's happening. I haven't played Cyberpunk in a long time since it came out. And I know there's been so many changes. Emilio's talked very highly of it. And I just kind of have a hankering to go back. I mean, it was one of the most anticipated games of all time. I played it for 15 hours when it first came out, and I was like, the driving kind of isn't for me. Like, what a waste of, I'm sure there's so much fun to be had in Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
so
the driving's way better. Way better. Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Taylor, what's closing us out?
Playing us out today is Choose from Milk Inside of a Bag of Milk Inside of a Bag of Milk.
Ooh.
Goodbye.
All together now.
We've become metronomes.